guys, it's Debbie with Debbie J's Crafting Corner. Welcome back. Today I'm going to be playing with the Add to Cart of the Add to Cart collection. This is just too stinking cute. I just love it. What we've got here is a die set, multiple die sets in this case, but a die set that creates this super cute little shopping cart. And of course I did red, which is Target. I know everything is not all red on all Target carts, but anyway, a couple of weeks ago I was doing just a little test on and did a live just to test a feature that I was thinking about using, and I had a bunch of people pop in, and when I mentioned I had this cute little thing, they wanted me to try it out, so I went ahead and built that. So if you want to see that video, I'm going to leave a link to it right up there for you guys, but that's where I made this little shiny red shopping cart. So what I'm going to be doing today is actually creating some cards with this. I've got a couple of ideas running around in my head. I don't know which ones are going to actually pop to the top, but I have gone ahead and cut out a rainbow of shopping carts. So I'm going to go ahead and get started assembling these. I'm going to do one on camera for you guys, and then we can start putting together the cards, okay? So just stick around. We'll talk then. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start assembling. Okay, change of plans. Looks like I had a little bit of issues with some of the other video that I was doing. So as I was editing, it's like, yeah, I need to change this. So I made another card, and what I'm doing here is I'm basically cutting all of the mats first to put my card together. I'm using this really pretty paper pack that I've had in my stash for 2 years from Michael's that it was so pretty, I just didn't want to touch it. And some of you guys may know I actually got at least a couple of these because of those just adorable, pretty little pumpkins. So this one is going to be a Halloween card. So first I'm just cutting out all of the mats, and then I'm going to start putting some things together. The first part I'm assembling for this is just the basic background. I'm using 2 of the different contrasting papers, one with some pretty fall leaves, and then this other one that is purple with some spiders. I did trim it a little bit long, so I'm having to trim it back down some before adhering it down, and of course I've already got my adhesive on it, so things are going to stick a little bit, but that's okay. That turns out pretty nice. And then I'm putting up my little shopping cart to see what it's going to look like. Next, I'm going to work on the star of the show, and that is this little 3D shopping cart. I've already adhered the base shape to the handle and to the undercarriage and wheels, and now I'm basically going to be putting together the basket. Now we've got a couple of different pieces for this. One of them is long and skinny, and one of them is a bit wider. And each of those make it so that you can create either a 1/4 inch, or I think the other one actually goes to a 1/2 inch. I'm using the 1/4 inch, so it's going to be dimensional, but it's not going to be quite as wide as you can make it. You can actually make this quite a bit thicker than what I've got here. So I've got one of the wider pieces that I folded along the little score lines, and now I'm attaching it to that small, thin, skinny piece that has got a couple of little flaps on there. So you would adhere it to the flaps. So I'm just adhering that to one end of my wider piece. Now the wider piece I'm going to call like the front or the back of the cart, just for a term to use. I'm not sure what they call it. But I'm adhering all those little flaps from the bottom piece to that, and using my scoreboard to try to help burnish them in just enough so that it will glue straight. You know how that goes. Our glitter glue does glue pretty quick, but sometimes you need to pull it apart if it is glued on there crooked. Now I'm folding the other piece. Now for the end of your card, for the far end of it, it's going to need to be shorter. What I decided to do, and I feel that it's probably a little faster and easier, is I'm just going ahead and adhering it down, and then I'll trim it once it's all together. So I'm doing the same thing on this end. I'm gluing it to those 3 little flaps on the end of my, undercarriage piece. And I'm using my bone folder to help kind of burnish that in so everything holds straight. Now that that piece is all done, I'm going to go ahead and adhere that to the basket portion. So I'm adding some liquid glue to both ends of the basket and then adhering that onto my little three-dimensional undercarriage part. Now that I know how tall that end piece needs to be, I can go ahead and snip it on one side. Then I'm going to glue the whole thing down to my other part of my cart, the other gridded panel. Just like before, I'm snipping off the other end, so now we've got a perfect little shopping cart and it is ready to go on the panel. So I'm going to go ahead and glue all of that down. Like I said, I really love this pattern paper, so I took one of the pages, which is full of all these pink and purple and foiled pumpkins that are just so pretty, and I fussy cut each of those little guys out, just enough to go into my cart. I didn't go crazy. I'm going to save the rest of the page for something else, and I'm adding a little bit of foam tape to the backs of those pumpkins so that they will fit nicely in my cart and give it a little bit of dimension. What I noticed on one of the others, I did do a lot of flat gluing down, and that doesn't really work as well, I don't think, on these pumpkins. I think you need 1 layer, 2 layers, sometimes even 3 layers of foam tape so that you can have them each at a different dimension, and it just looks so darn cute. So I've got these 2 layered up. The first one is layered up on 1 layer of foam tape, and the second one is on 2. And then I'm putting a little piece of foam tape on my third pumpkin and actually having it sit outside of the cart. All that's left for this cart is just to put it onto my card base. Next, I'm going to be using another card and the Shopping Cart Holiday and Presents Etched Die collection to create a Christmas card. So I'm die cutting out a bunch of those little pieces, including some presents and that tree, and then I'm going to start assembling everything to put into my cart. For this card, I'm using another pattern paper pack. This one, I'm using this cute little scene to be my backdrop, and I'm going to go ahead and adhere this all down onto another piece of pattern paper. This card I'm actually making larger because of the size of that image, so this card is going to be a 5x7, which I never do. This time I've got a little red cart ready to go, and my thought is I'm going to have her going shopping, and she is looking in one of the windows, and sitting behind her is going to be this full shopping cart. So I go ahead and adhere the shopping cart down. You can tell that I did do one of the dimensional ones, so it has got some space in there. And on this one, I didn't realize that I should be putting foam tape behind everything so that it all pops. So I've got first this Christmas tree that I'm putting in and adhering to the bag right up beside her, and then I'm going to do the same thing with one of these cute presents. But first I decided to decorate the shopping cart a little bit. Included in this set is a bow and a sash that will fit perfectly on the outside of that cart. I know you noticed what I'm adding to the cart next. I've got a couple of pairs of some really cool stiletto high heels that are from another of the add-on sets. This is the Shopping Cart Party add-on. There's a lot of different things, but the thing that caught my eye the most, of course, were those really cool high heel shoes. So I'm adding those into this cute shopping cart too, because although she's got her treat and her presents, she needs something for herself too, right guys? With that all finished up, I just added that panel onto a 5x7 card base. Okay, next we have the final card, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This card was created because I woke up in the morning and had this idea of something I thought would be really cool to use with these shopping carts, and that is, what if we made the cart into a shaker cart? I thought that would be totally awesome, especially since when I was cutting out all of those little card base pieces, the cart, all of the little pieces that dropped out would be perfect for confetti. But I fought with this card so much. This is actually my second run through trying to get the shaker box made. Now, my recommendation at this point, after having attempted it twice, is build the cart around the shaker. So die cut your front and back piece. The cart part has got an outline and it has got all the grids out, so it's perfect to be able to do that. So build the cart, the inside of that cart, that shaker box, before you put the cart on there, because it is so difficult to insert the shaker box once you get it assembled, assuming you get it assembled just the right size, because it has to be slightly smaller than your cart in order to get it in there. So I'm going to skip past most of the assembly on that, because most of us have done a shaker before, and I promise I will do another shaker shopping cart card in the future to give a better idea of how to do it, because the first two attempts did not work well. The second attempt at least finished up and I was able to complete the card, and it does look cute in the end. I do like that idea as a shaker, but it could be done a lot easier than what I did, guys. Okay, just watching that assembly and knocking a lot of it out of the video, that made me tired. Sorry. So now we are getting to the fun part. I've got multiple flat carts that I'm going to add to the front of a regular A2 size panel that I got from another paper pack. This one is covered in confetti, and I'm basically going to just line these guys up like you find them at the store when you go to grab them. They're all kind of merged into one another. So I've got a yellow, a green, a blue, and then I'm going to add my cute little shaker on. Now, this part was super easy because all I needed to do was just glue everything in place, and no problem with that. I was very happy with doing that part after struggling so much with my little shaker. Another piece that's in that Party On die set is this cute little banner. I went ahead and just did that out of black, and then I also cut out a bunch of the little flags. There's a separate die where you can cut out 3 at a time. So I'm just going to put them up on that banner in RGB order, and then I'm going to add my cute little shaker shopping cart. Then to finish it off, I just adhered that down onto an A2 black card base. I know I didn't add a sentiment to these cards, but you know what? These could be used for so many different things. This little celebration card could be used for any celebration, and the others you could add whatever sentiment you want to later on too, which is what I intend to do. Thanks so much for dropping in and checking out the new Add to Cart die collection. These dies are a lot of fun, and you got to see a little bit of struggle, but a lot of beautiful cards during this video. I want to thank you again for dropping in, and remember, if I can make it, you can too.